I was reading a post the other day from an old fella who's unfortunately really not well, and he was just talking about, don't take your health for granted. He was talking specifically about golf. Don't take your golf for granted. Like, he misses it terribly. He just can't physically do it anymore. I don't want to be looking at life like that. I want to be one of those people that you see that go, man, look at that old guy running. Look at that old guy still playing golf. Look at how fit he looks. That's what I want to be. I'm Ian Hawkins, and this is Sport is Life. The purpose of sport, as I see it, is to see your vision become a reality. Find your voice, create strong connections, and learn to trust your body. Anyone who's had a sustained level of success has got a very clear process on how they're going to get the best out of themselves, and they act accordingly. Now, how much time are you investing in being like a high performance athlete to make sure your future is taken care of? The destiny of your life, but specifically what we're talking about today, your career or your business, is very much determined by how you treat your health. If you are treating yourself and doing what you need to do to be a high-performing athlete, then you're going to give yourself the best chance. Because when you do, you're going to have the ability to perform under all circumstances. You're going to have the best focus, determination. You're going to have that ability to deal with setbacks. You're going to be able to build self-belief. You're going to have the energy you require, the ability to stay consistent. Now, there's plenty of people who have been really successful, but they haven't looked after their physical health. But again, not sustainable. It comes at a cost. And that cost may be further into the longer term, but it's still going to come at a cost. I was talking to an old client today, and he was talking about they're just deciding on that, the next 20 or so years of their life, their career, what they're going to do, him and his wife. And they want to get focused on making sure they're going to have the most enjoyable time going future, but also get that balance right around health. It's so critical. And physically, yes, absolutely. But it's got to be mentally too, emotionally. Those guys at the top of their games, they manage all of those areas. And the ones that have sustained success are doing it the best. That's just my reminder that I've got a group coaching call in 15 minutes. I do forget sometimes. So it's making sure that you've got all of those bases covered. When I first stepped away, my last couple of years at corporate, I was really getting right into my physical health, and I was doing a fantastic job. I'd never felt stronger, healthier since I'd been a young kid. Probably better in some ways because I was doing put a lot of effort into my mental and emotional strength and health as well. But then I got into the habit of I just need to be mentally strong, and I need to put all my focus in the business, and I suffered as a result. My energy went, my consistency went, my determination went, and I was having some success, but I just wasn't feeling good within myself. The last 2 years, I've made that a real focus. I need to get back to being physically like an elite athlete. I set myself a target to run 3 times a week in 2023. Didn't get there fully and had some weeks off when on holidays, but I got over 100 runs for the year. Last year, probably didn't quite hit that mark, but I added weights to that as well because I wanted to get more of that balance. And this year, the goal is to hit 100 sessions of each. And that's a big goal. It's like 200 workouts for the year. I'm not sure I'll make it, but that's the goal. Because I know the impact that'll have. I'm already feeling more energized. I'm feeling stronger, more focused. I sleep better, importantly. And it also makes those other areas much easier to manage. Your mental health, the emotional health. I interviewed a an elite basketballer this morning. You'll hear his episode coming in a couple of months' time. But he talked about the same. He's had huge mental health challenges. I won't go into any details now because I'll let him tell his story. But the thing he talked about was it's so important to focus on all those areas. Yes, for what he does, which play basketball at a really high level. He's been in the college system in the US and the NBL system back here in Australia. But also for his life. He makes sure so that he's the best that he possibly can be to nurture all of those areas. He knows what it's like when you're not. And so that's just a focus for him. And he talked at the very start of the episode just how he had a belief around what's coming for his basketball career. And he had a belief around the other things in his life. And that came not from just trying to keep his health at the line, by just trying to keep himself like at a level that's just like okay, but because he wanted to continue to improve. He wanted to get stronger physically. He absolutely was getting stronger mentally by putting that effort into improving it. And it doesn't mean you don't have setbacks. It's like when you get an injury physically, you need to take some time off. You need to have rehab. You need to build yourself back up to health. But then you can't just quit on it. We look at mental health too much like something that we just do when things go wrong, but it's got to be similar to the physical. You've got to work on yourself. And if you don't, you'll suffer different setbacks that sometimes are harder to get back from than others. So continue to find things to work on. Wherever you are at physically, then work out what's going to get you back to the level you want to get. So one of the things he talked about today is having that big picture, but then just coming back to what's the next step. There's no point getting caught in all the steps that you've got to get to and trying to get yourself ahead of where you are now. If you're not, you've got to take those steps before to get there. Like I see too many men suddenly go, I've got to get fit, and then they rip in 100 miles an hour and they get injured. And then they can't do anything and they get frustrated. Or they have a little bit of success and then they push themselves too hard. You've got to map this out and it's got to be clear. Sometimes you need help for that, and that's the same with mentally as well. What are you doing for your mental health? Just purely working on your physical side will not be enough to help you increase your mental health, to increase your emotional health. There are other elements that you need to make sure that you include to work on. And like I said at the start, these things, your future in your career and your business, they will be determined by how much focus you have in that area. And for the rest of your life. Like, I don't know about you, but when I get to retirement age, I want to be fit, I want to be strong, and I want to have the ability to go and do all the things that I want to do. Nothing is given. My dad passed away at 64. Thankfully, he'd retired a little bit earlier and he'd got a few years out of it, but 64 is too young. Nothing is guaranteed. But if you give yourself the best chance, you're going to give yourself the best chance of many, many years being fit, being healthy, being mobile, being active, and still doing the things you want to do. I was reading a post the other day from an old fella who's unfortunately really not well, and he was just talking about, don't take your health for granted. He was talking specifically about golf. Don't take your golf for granted. Like, he misses it terribly. He just can't physically do it anymore. I don't want to be looking at life like that. I want to be one of those people that you see that go, man, look at that old guy running. Look at that old guy still playing golf. Look at how fit he looks. That's where I want to be. Because I want it to be sustainable, and I want to grow what I'm growing, and I want to grow it for a long time. So have a look at that big picture. Start adopting those high-performing athlete strategies, techniques, mentality. Start making those changes to get you, absolutely thriving. And if you're needing help or accountability, 1, to get that plan in place, getting your game plan for life in place, or 2, the accountability to make sure you take that action. Let me know. The call I've got, it's Monday here at 4:50. The call I've got at 5 o'clock Sydney time is my game plan session, where they've built the vision and now it's making sure they're staying on track. What plan are they up to? Are they doing it? Did they get their important tasks for last week done? What do they set themselves for this week? And these guys, they love the accountability. They love having someone there to just ask them the questions and if necessary, hold them to account. To me, it's why I have a coach myself. It's having someone there that's going to hold you to account. And maybe it's a Gen X thing, but I love sometimes my coach going, fucking get on with it. Like, you're not doing enough here. And I give them full permission to do that for me because I like that style. They also know that that's not always appropriate, but in times where I need it, I need to kick up the arse, and so be it. If that's what you need, then yeah, let me know. I'm more than happy to have a conversation and see if what you need is something that I can help you with. Don't take anything for granted. Start living like a high-performance athlete now and watch everything change for your career, for your business, and for your life. You've taken the time to listen to this whole episode. Now it's time to take action. Commit to one thing you've learned today and make it happen. And to avoid any obstructions, join the Sport is Life movement by clicking on the link in the show notes.